Alright, what's up guys? This is the first video on my channel. My channel is going to be primarily disc golf. I play a lot of disc golf. Me and my friends play a lot of disc golf. So I figured for my first video, why not do it in the bag? Show you what I throw at the moment, and I will show you that now. So I use a Dynamic Disc Ranger bag. I've had it for a little while. I carry 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 discs in my bag. And so I'm going to start with my putters. So these are my two putting putters. They are both max weight JK Pro ABRs. I used to putt with KC ABRs, but I noticed they were getting really stiff, and there was something that I just kind of grew out of. I didn't really like how stiff they were, but I liked the way that the JKs were relatively flimsy and not so stiff. I only have one other putter in my bag right now, and that is my driving putter. And I use this for some short drives and for upshots a lot. I rarely ever use this for a putt unless it's just I have it in my hand and I am 2 feet from the basket. I'll just drop it in. But that's this putter. This is my Latitude 64 Zero Soft Mercy. This is my first putter, actually. One of my first discs. So I also carry 3 mids. All 3 are Rock 3s. The first one that I'm going to show you is my G-Star Rock 3. This is my understable Rock 3. I put it out there. I can put it out straight and it'll fade up a little bit at the end, but if I put it on the ante, it'll hold that for quite a while and it'll flatten out and pretty much just kind of sit down. I experienced that today with it. It did that really well for me. I really liked it. My next Rock 3 is my oldest Champion Rock 3. It is 173 grams, and it is a straight to slightly overstable disc. I throw it, and it typically takes a really nice straight line. If I put just the right amount on it, it'll hold that, and then it'll fade off just a little bit at the very end. My final Rock 3 is my 180 max weight Champion Rock 3. This is my newest Rock 3. I've only had it for a little while, but I have used it quite a bit, and it is a very overstable Rock 3. If I throw it straight, flat, it cuts off and fades at the very end, and it gets a good amount of hyzer on it. Next, I'm going to show you my fairway drivers. I have 6 of them. My first 2 fairways that I'm going to show you are my rivers. I carry an Opto river. This is a 165 Opto river. This is the 4th Opto river I have owned. The first 3 I lost. The first 2 I threw in water because I was not throwing them correctly. And the 3rd one I threw beautifully and it just straight up disappeared. It's like, I don't know, it got picked up by aliens or something. I have absolutely no idea what happened to that disc. So I had to replace it. And this is a good understable disc for starting out. This is a great, right off the shelf, it's relatively understable. So if you just throw it out there flat, it'll typically turn over just a little bit and fade off at the end. The other river I carry in my bag is not actually my river. It is my friend's river. I have yet to determine whether or not I'm going to trade him for it. But I am thinking about it. But to me, this river is a lot like a beat T-Bird. If you throw it nice and flat, it'll go out there for pretty far, and then it'll fade off at the end. But I'm starting to like this river. It's the new Frostline plastic from Latitude 64, and I think I'm going to like it if I trade him. And then lastly for fairways, I have 4 different T-Birds, 2 of which aren't T-Birds, but a variation of the T-Bird. My first T-Bird that I'm going to show you is my Star T-Bird. This is my straight to slightly understable-ish T-Bird. If I throw it really hard, I can flip it over and get it to get a nice S-curve out on it if I throw it at the right height, or I can throw it flat and it'll fade off at the end like it should, like a beat-in T-bird, kind of like the Frostline River. My next T-bird is my newest T-bird. I just got this. It was a Secret Santa gift from my school disc golf club. I got it. It is a iDye Champion T-bird. It is very stiff. It is max weight, and it is pretty overstable. If I just throw it out flat, it'll fade off pretty hard in the end. And then this next one is a G-Star T-Bird 3. I found this out on a course just last week. I've thrown it a few times, and it flies a whole lot like this T-Bird, just faster, and it goes a little bit further. But other than that, they're relatively the same. Next is my G-Star TL3. This is the T-Bird Long 3. It flies. When I first got it, it flew really nice and straight for me. It faded off at the end, kind of like a beat-in T-Bird would. But now that I've used it a lot and I've thrown it a lot, it has kind of become a disc that I'm hesitant to use sometimes because it's gotten a little unpredictable. It'll flip over on me really, really easily. So I haven't used this one as much, but it is still a disc that I will carry in my bag because I don't want to take it out. Alright, lastly, I'm going to show you all of my distance drivers. I have 3, 6, 9 distance drivers in my bag right now. The first one, I'm hesitant to call it a distance driver, but it is technically a distance driver. It is a Champion Valkyrie. It is 166 grams, and it has been a disc that I've used a lot. It's really nice for throwing it flat, and it'll S-curve off and fade out at the end, and it'll get a pretty good amount of distance on it with that S-curve. I like this disc a lot. The next one, this is another one I'm kind of hesitant to call a distance driver. It is my Champion Firebird. It is max weight. It is one of the newer discs in my bag. It's one of the newest. It's like any Firebird is. It is throw it flat and it fades hard once it gets out there a little ways. I can't get a whole lot of distance off of it right now just because of how much it fades, and it doesn't want to. It kind of just fights the distance. But it's good for those nice dog leg shots and some tomahawks and thumbers and stuff like that. Next is one of my favorite discs in my bag. It is my G-Star Crate. If I just throw this flat, and then I can get it to get a slight S-curve, or I can throw it kind of softer and flat and get it to go out there pretty far, but it fade off at the end. I definitely see why it is one of Paul McBeth's signature discs. I like it a lot. Next is my Star T-Rex. This disc I found out on the course when I was looking for an old Valkyrie that I found it, but it was in the middle of a creek, and I didn't really want to go into the creek and get it. Me and my friend were being kind of pussies and decided we weren't going to go get it. So I found this at the same time, and I was glad. This is... Alright, sorry guys, my camera cut out on me. So again, back to my T-Rex. So I got this on the course. I like it. It flies really straight, and it fades off at the end. It's not as stable as it is when you first get one, but other than that, it's been a really good disc for me. Next is going to be my Star Tern. This disc I found out in the bottom of the lake at one of the courses that I play a lot near me. Me and my friend were fishing for discs, and this is one of the ones I picked up. It is a nice disc for distance. I can get a good amount of distance on it. If I put it on a good hyzer, it'll flip up, turn over, and then it'll ride that out and then come back and finish back to the left again. But I can get a pretty good amount of distance on it. If I throw it flat, it'll just turn over and cut roll. So I need to make sure always got to put hyzer on it. Next 3 discs I'm gonna tell you about are destroyers. This first one is the newest destroyer in my bag. It is not a new destroyer at all. It is an old destroyer. It is very beat in. This is a 168 destroyer that was given to me by a friend who thought that I would do really well with this destroyer, and I really like it. So I'm glad that he gave it to me. Thanks, Tim. So this destroyer, I can put it out flat, and if I throw it flat, I can get it to get a slight S curve, or if I throw it out flat with a tiny bit of hyzer, I can get it to flip up flat and then right out and uh, fade off at the end, and I can get a pretty good amount of distance on this. This is a good disc. I like it. I'm glad that I got it pre-beat, so I didn't have to do it myself. The next is Star Destroyer. This is a 171 Star Destroyer. This is one of the newest discs in my bag. May not look like it. It's a little dirty. It's thrown today, and there was some muddy spots that I got thrown into. So, yeah. But this is a really nice disc. It's brand new, so it's still pretty stable. It's got a slight pop top on it, and I like it. But I throw it out flat, and it'll it'll fade off towards the end of the flight. But it does really well. I really like it. I can get a pretty good distance on it. My last destroyer is my oldest destroyer. It's my pink Star Destroyer. It is also 171 grams. This destroyer has been beat in pretty good over the time that I've had it. I've had it run over by a car at one point. Some guy ran it over and just straight up didn't even care. But this is a disc I like a lot. It flies a lot like this one does. At least it did when I first got it. It still flies like this. It just doesn't fade off as much at the end. It just stays straight for longer. Every once in a while, if I have a good amount of headwind, I can flip it over and get it to S-curve out and go pretty far out. And the very last disc in my bag is my Westside Disc King. I have a love-hate relationship with this disc. I really like the way that I can get a good amount of distance off of it without putting it up really, without putting a lot of anhyzer on it. But the reason I have the hate part of the relationship is these numbers. This says, it calls it a -1.4. It is not a -1.4, not at all. No, I throw it out flat, and I can get it. It just takes this giant S curve, and it just S's out, and it gets good distance, but it just does not fly true to its numbers. That's one thing about Westside that I am not too stoked about. But other than that, it's a great disc. I like it a lot. Other things in my bag, I carry a birdie bag, a rosin bag that I got at Academy. It was like $2. Sorry guys, my iPad cut out again. So 4 minis, 2 dynamic discs, 2 straight line discs. I just get one when I like it, and I just rotate them around. I also carry a couple baseballs in my bag to get this out of trees when that happens. I have an extra scorecard and a couple of pencils as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Once again, my channel is going to be mostly disc golf. I'll do updated in the bags as my bag changes, and I will do some disc reviews and other disc golf related things. So thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to making more videos. Thanks, guys.